Only been a week.
Oh, yeah.
We are celebrating a W here on the PHNX Suns post-game show because the Suns, finally, they snapped that losing streak. They get back in the win column, and they take down the Pistons 120-106. How y'all feeling?
Good. That was a good win.
Anytime you get some Sunday afternoon sacks, I feel good. All right?
Psycho Blue, baby. Vikings and Suns. I feel great.
All right, here we go. Hot minute recap. Espo, on your mark, get set, go.
All right, first quarter wasn't as great as you'd hoped. They didn't get off to as fast of a start as you wanted, but the one bright spot was Frank Vogel got a technical foul, baby.
Hey.
Kevin Durant got fouled. They didn't call it. Frank got angry, and on the next play, Katie got a foul call on a three, and it helped the Suns to a free throw advantage tonight in a big way. They got 29 free throws overall. Suns led by one after the first. Second quarter, Utah hit a three, played pretty well in that quarter, but this was about Kevin Durant. It was weird. In this quarter, the momentum kind of shifted in the Suns' favor when he sat down. They had a 58-49 lead at halftime, but then KD took charge in the third quarter, had 18 points on 6 of 8 shooting, and wound up taking a 92-80 lead, and he closed it out in that fourth quarter, kicking some ass. He got to 41 points for a 120-106 Suns win.
Great job, Espo.
Landed that plane.
You
I
did,
said,
real
you
fast.
pointed, I saw it.
I was about to
I
call
landed
it.
that bad boy quick.
If you didn't point, I don't know if he would have got through it.
That was
Wouldn't
quite
have
the
been a minute.
assist.
Would have been
I
about
got
a
you,
minute
dog.
and a half. That was solid, Espo. Let's start off by looking at some numbers here and seeing what's inside the box.
What's in the fucking box? Why is that always so
Well,
rough for us?
yeah, I don't know. Our producers are what they are. You got Jacob back there. Field goal, surprisingly, very close tonight. 43 of 86 for the Suns, 43 of 87 for the Pistons, but it all came down to the three-point shooting and free throws. 8 of 21 for the Suns, 8 of 23 for the Pistons.
It didn't come down there. It's
No,
the
but
same number.
early on,
It's the same
no,
number.
but early on the Suns shot better from three. Early on, the Suns shot better than the Pistons from three, and then the free throw shooting, the discrepancy there, which isn't on the graph, but that's all right. 26 of 29 for the Suns, 12 of 14 for the Pistons, which was a big reason for it. And the Suns dominated on the glass, 43-33, and that's how you get a 120-106 victory for your Phoenix Suns.
I'm just laughing because he was like, that's where
That's
like 3-point shooting. Free throws.
They got
This is
same
disparity.
points.
They both hit 8.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what?
I'm with you, dog.
Early
I'm with you,
on,
dog.
it was part of it. So.
with you.
It's fine. It's
I-
fine. Free throws were the difference. There you go.
I think the glass was the difference. You know, plus 10 on the glass. That's a physical Detroit team. I would not have guessed that they out-rebound the Pistons 43-33. I also like that they won all the hustle points in this game, or whether it was blocks, steals, points off turnovers. A complete game. The Suns outscored the Pistons in every quarter. This is how you win a basketball game from beginning to end. I think the only 30-point quarter was 31-point quarter for the Pistons in the third.
Correct.
And so you start to see the defense lock in, and then obviously when you get E.G. and Grayson contributing the way they did today, they look more like what they're supposed to look like. But one last thing, not going to overreact. It's just a game against the Pistons, just like I'm not going to overreact to a loss to the Spurs. They did what they're supposed to do. Let's move on. That's my thing.
Well, like we said, like I said in the pregame, I talked about the mindset needing to shift a little bit when it comes to your role players. Instead of them feeling like role players, they needed to step up and be that viable number 2 and 3 option. And early on, especially in the first half, you saw that from Eric Gordon and Grayson Allen. They really took control helped out KD, hit some buckets when it mattered. And yes, Triple B, I did just miss my parlay.
You did, but it was
tough.
Listen, as long as the Suns got a win today,
So, I don't want to hear.
we were all going to be super happy. And this one specifically felt good too for a couple of different reasons. To your point, Saul, you had some of the role players who stepped up in really big ways, but it felt like for almost every single one of them, you could find a point within the game where it was like, okay, that clicked. That's a lot more confidence than we've seen from them overall. And I understand it's just against the Pistons, but I'll take a win where I can take a win at this point in time, dealing with all the things that we've been dealing with as Suns fans. Like, this game just kind of felt like the confidence level of each individual guy went up a couple notches. They all sort of felt more comfortable with what they're being asked to do at this point without Devin and Bradley Beal out there. And we're in this kind of limbo stage, right? We know that Bradley Beal is hoping to return on Wednesday. We're hopeful that that will come to fruition. We don't really have a complete update on an exact timeline with Book right now, so it might be a little bit more time before we get both of those guys back. So they're all still going to be asked to do more than what they were supposed to be doing.
Well, and what I liked from Grayson and Eric Gordon were they were aggressive. It wasn't just settling for 3-pointers. They were getting to the basket.
Yes.
I mean, Grayson only goes 1 for 3 from deep, goes 6 of 12 overall, though. I mean, that was a guy that understood, okay, I'm not hitting these shots, but I can still be impactful if I get to the bucket like that. So I really like that. And they did it early too, which set the tone.
And especially as a secondary facilitator, I really thought Grayson and Eric, more Grayson, because Eric, when he goes downhill, he doesn't really look to pass. He looks to score. Whereas Grayson, when he goes downhill, he's kind of 50-50. He can pass it out to the open shooter, or he can take the floater himself. So I thought it was a nice distribution. And as Lindsay said, each player at a key point had a moment. Yuta was very hesitant from 3, even in the first half. Then we get to the second half. He's like, you know what? That's not my game. I need to just let it fly. Yeah. He hits that first one. And then what happens subsequently? After that, he pump fakes, gets to the rim, hits a nice little floater. And he kind of got going too. And I thought his defense was fantastic
especially in the fourth.
I thought Yuta, everybody kind of talked about Yuta's defense being underrated. Yeah. I feel like we've seen that for the most part in every single one of these games.
Yeah, I agree. He looked more comfortable today. It was, what I liked about Eric Gordon and Grayson today is that in previous games, it looked like they were trying to play inside out as opposed to outside in. And today they just got right to it. If you start, they're shooters. If you start to hit some shots, the paint's going to open up for you. In the last game, it felt like he was playing bully ball, Eric Gordon. He was trying to get to the paint, trying to draw contact, trying to be physical. And then you see, once you start coming out there, and even you don't have to make them. Just taking them, it looked so much smoother. They were getting to the basket at ease, and it worked out. And, Yuta's defense was terrific. I thought Goodwin's defense was very good all night, too.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, I joked about the technical foul from Vogel in that 1-minute drill, but I actually think that did help set the tone. Ironically enough, against Monty Williams, who would never do that shit.
Except for he did.
Yes,
he
later on in that game, but I felt like there were so many times early in games where the Suns were in that same situation. We didn't see it. Vogel got livid when KD wasn't getting the bucket, getting the fouls early on. And then he winds up getting 12. They wound up getting 29 overall. The Pistons only get 14 free throws. And literally the point differential is the 14-point difference in free throws made. So I give a lot of credit to him on that point and getting in the ref's head about that early on.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely. All right, so we have a couple super chats here. Big Vernon sent us one. Thank you. Said, year 17, by the way, with a little smirk emoji face. Shout out to KD. 40-piece tonight.
He got 1 point for every year he's been on this earth. 41. Oh, wait, no.
Psycho Blue sent us one and said, Nurk the Jerk might have shoes of cement, but he has such wonderful hands and court vision. He just needs to figure out the second unit schemes.
Yeah. He had 7 assists tonight.
He might have had 7 assists, but it was not great basketball to watch.
Yeah.
Eubanks was far more effective tonight than he was.
He put more pressure on the rim. And like the other night, Nurk had 9 rebounds. Like, you're going to see it doesn't look good, but then when you look at it, you're like, oh. But I feel the same way tonight. 7 assists, it looks good on paper, but I didn't really feel that impact in the game.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I feel like stats can be superficial in that regard.
Yeah.
Where, like that's why when some fans, when they talk about a game, but they didn't watch the game, but they see the stats, are like, KD had 35. What are you guys bagging on him for? I'm like, well, yeah, he might have had 35, but maybe that 35 was just inconsequential, or is at the end of the game, or what, I mean, just a variety of different things. Yeah. Nurk, I didn't feel like made a huge impact on tonight's game. And that needs to change. Like, he needs to play better.
Yeah.
Overall.
Okay. Yes, I don't disagree with you guys. However, if we give a little bit of a leeway as far as what we're asking of some of the other guys who are stepping up into roles that they're not being asked to do we not extend the same compassion to Nurk? He doesn't have the guys out there that he has been running with in that first unit, leading all the way up to the start of the season.
I agree.
So from a chemistry and communication standpoint, he had more of that locked down with Book, Beal, KD.
Did he though?
In the starting.
How do you know that?
Well, here's the thing. You don't like the
preseason.
You don't. I know that
it's not the same thing.
I get that. You don't like it, and I agree. There's a different level in the preseason.
Agreed.
But in the preseason, when we did see all of them together, dude was getting almost a triple-double at a half. So you can't completely dismiss that.
I'm not going to completely dismiss it, but I also don't think that his role has fundamentally changed all that much in terms of what the Suns are requiring him to do. They still want him to be a facilitator from the center position. They still want him to be effective down low. And for the most part, that effectiveness down low has not shown up. And tonight, against a team that has two average centers, if you want to say that, Stewart's a physical guy, Durant's a physical guy. He should have been able to do a lot more down there than he does. And that's where my concern is.
Yeah. But without the big three, there's a lot less space. The gravity of those guys is what opens it up. He gets the role. Those were the kind of things that he was doing. You say he's brought in to be a distributor. He had those 7 assists. So he was doing that. My question is, what do we actually expect from this guy? What are we hoping for? Because everything we heard was, well, the passing's a big part of what they brought him in for. He had 2 blocks, 2 steals as well. I get it. He's not putting up massive offensive numbers, but is that what we're expecting from him? I still don't know what we should expect from Yusuf Nurkic as part of it.
I think to answer that question, what you're getting from Nurk is you're going to see it when the big three's out there. It's making their life easier. Mm-hmm. It's not so much about his numbers. It's about, do I make Devin's life easier? Do I make Kevin and Brad Beal's life easier? And I think he does. When you put them on the court together, his ability to find cutters, pass, stretch the floor a little bit, and just the IQ of the game, that's where he makes his major impact. And so it's going to look ugly right now. I don't disagree with anybody. I see what Saul's saying.
Yeah.
You look at this game, it's not he didn't make an imprint on his game. I think the biggest imprint he made on his game was a couple possessions when things started to get lackadaisical. He was able to get in the post and get to the free throw line or cause a foul or get us in the bonus. Those are the little things that I took away from today, but until they get back, it's going to be a little weird.
Also, let's just say this too. I'm not going to have a conversation about Nurkic and talk about DA and what ifs. I'm not doing that. I'm strictly talking about Nurkic as a basketball player on this team right now. Because I've seen some people talking about, we got rid of DA, because I'm not talking about fucking DA. I'm talking about Nurkic. Right. I still think that there's a lot to be left. There's a lot to be desired with him.
I see it.
And the spacing wise, I totally get it, Espo. I know Booker and Beal provide but it's a different kind of spacing. When you have Grayson Allen, Yuta, and EG along with Kevin Durant, that's 4 perimeter players. One can make the argument that the gravity of those perimeter players should be almost equal to what Booker and Beal would provide from the perimeter. Now, when you start to factor in the ability to hit the mid-range and drive to the basket and all that stuff, then you have to move around and things change for sure. But Nurk should still be as effective right now in terms of down low post play as he is with those guys, and we're not really seeing much of that.
But you're not getting the double teams.
That's what I was going to say.
You double team KD, you double team Book. Beal can draw the double team, which means Nurk gets mismatches. I think that's what they're hoping for. But I think part of it too is,
the Lakers game, they were sending fucking 5 dudes at him, and he still couldn't do shit.
I mean, for me, I think this is a case of Eubanks passes the eye test a lot easier than Nurk will, because Eubanks is high energy, dunks, gets up there, is trying to meet guys at the apex of their jump. So visually, you go, that I see that. And Nurk, a lot of the things are slow plotting kind of things like that.
Does he really though? Eubanks right now is passing the eye test with this team. That Laker game, dude, Eubanks blew that game.
No, I
was
agree.
Eubanks that blew
but I'm
that
saying
game.
in a game like tonight, I think
Yes.
you saw a lot of activity from Eubanks. It's a very visual game he plays where Nurk, there was nothing pretty about it. He just was utilitarian with it.
I think we all already knew pretty up front that there were going to be peaks and valleys when it came to Nurk. And I do think it's fair to ask for a little bit more while Book and Beal are out. But I also think before we fully pass any judgment on Nurk, let's wait and see what he looks like with those guys in that starting unit with him. Okay. That's all I'm going to say. Sure. Real quick, before we move on, let me remind you guys the Pumpkin Porter season is just about to wrap up. So make sure you get your hands on some from our friends over at Four Peaks. Visit fourpeaks.com/locator to find all your favorite brewery tours and events, and where you can grab their delicious beer at as well. You can also check them out at Four Peaks Brew or at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery. You must be 21 or older to drink Four Peaks, and we ask that you please drink responsibly. If beer isn't your thing, but you're more of a seltzer person, well, our friends over at Wink have a fantastic CBD THC seltzer that they offer. They are available in either 2.5 milligram or 5 milligram cans, and you can find Wink right here in Arizona. You can look for Wink at all Sunday Goods dispensaries in the Valley and Botanica Dispensary in Tucson. You can also save money online by going to drinkwink.com and using code PHNX for 20% off. That is drinkwink.com. Code PHNX.
You can drink Wink at the Botanical Gardens.
Yeah, you can. I mean, that would probably be cool.
I thought the Botanical Gardens
Every
just got a
time I
lot
see
cooler
Botanica,
than I remember.
immediately in my garden. You know what I mean?
Can I do it now?
Yeah.
Folks, we have a nice little segment for you. So why don't you just go ahead and buckle up and meet me in the boom room.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's go. Our man Kevin Ray joining for us from the road. What's going on, K-Ray?
How we doing, gang?
Fantastic. Fantastic.
What up, K-Ray?
What's going on?
Kevin, what are your overall thoughts on finally getting a dub back in the corner for us?
Well, look, I thought it was clearly, everybody will focus on Kevin Durant's 41 points, but I thought it was the big help they got from Eric Gordon in the first half, especially in that run where they were able to go from a single-digit lead to double digits. And then the overall team defense and rebounding. This was a big focal point for the team coming in because Detroit's so big, athletic, long, crashed in the glass. And I thought the Suns really set the tone, especially in that first half. And then EJ pointed it out on a number of occasions in the telecast, how quick and, speedy this Detroit team is, especially with those youngsters, but how Phoenix was able to kind of turn the tables and use their speed against them. And that's why they were able to get to the foul line as much as they did. And of course, it paid off, especially there in the third quarter.
How bad was our boy Jalen Rose out there? It looked bad on TV, but was he as loud as he looked?
I'm not sure if he is, pitching a job to be on Monty's coaching staff or what, but I'm sure it had to be a little bit almost disconcerting for Pistons players because he was standing up almost the entire game like a coach. He was talking to our guys. He was talking to their guys. I'm not sure what that was all about. I'm not sure if those are his season tickets, and that's the case every game. But goodness, it's going to be a long season if that's the case.
Yeah, it was a little chaotic out there. Everyone was asking in the chat, whose coaching staff is he trying to get on, and is he going to get the job or no?
Well, exactly.
Listen, it hasn't been exactly the best stretch for the Phoenix Suns, but you're on the road with them right now. They took an L yesterday, got a W today. What's the vibe kind of feeling like as a whole right now?
Yeah, I think, clearly the guys were frustrated by the 3 straight losses. And, the one that I'm sure still, sticks in their craws, the one they let get away on Tuesday to San Antonio. Just a whole kind of different feeling if you don't lose that game. And not to say that they still don't get beat on Thursday, but you add that now with the injury situation with Book Still no clear timetable on when Brad's going to be coming back. But I thought it was interesting. KD pointed out with Amanda Pflugrad in the post-game visit, he said Coach challenged him this morning. I mean, because look, it's early in the season and injuries happen to every team. And you can't, drop your shoulders and sulk and feel sorry for yourself. You got to find a way to go out and grit a way through a win. Now, gritting becomes a little bit easier when you got some dude, number 35, Kevin Durant, on your team. But that being said, you've still got to go out and execute and make it happen. And I thought the Suns executed the game plan and really stayed tied together defensively today, especially in the second half.
Last thing before we let you go, K-Ray. It looked like Stewart and KD might have had some words and kind of talking back and forth. And we can't hear because our mics don't pick up. You know what I mean? So, what was going on there? Because at one point, we could see you and EJ on the TV sitting there just kind of looking like, what's going on over here?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. I think it was Kevin Durant, and this is, at least from my vantage point, what I could see, it looked like KD, in classic KD fashion, dispensing a little wisdom for the young player. And we pointed it out on the telecast, just saying how, Kev loves the game so much and he's willing to, share intel and information. And I think basically what he was telling, he was kind of breaking the young man down in terms of why the fouls were being called fouls. And this is what you want to avoid in the future. So, classic KD ambassador for the game. And hopefully the young man was taking notes.
Thank you so much for popping on with us, K-Ray. We really appreciate you. We're excited
Absolutely.
to have you join us throughout the season on away games.
Hey, I love it. And always appreciate a shout out for the Boom Room, and we'll join you guys anytime.
Yeah.
Safe travels.
You guys can always check out K-Ray's, Breakthrough Chronicles. We have that here now at PHNX as well as his own platforms and podcasts. So when we put it out there, please give him a follow and follow his show.
Check it out.
It's pretty dope stuff. Thanks, Kev.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Peace out, Kev.
See ya. All right, a couple more. Well, we'll do one more super chat, and then that'll lead us into the conversation here. So Thunderstan, before you guys answer this, let's look at some stats for tonight's game, okay? Thunderstan sent us one and said, KD might end up MVP if Book and Beal miss enough games. So tonight, Kevin Durant is, of course, our big, bright, shiny star.
I'm a big, bright, shining star.
Oh,
Hey.
big, bright,
He finished tonight with 41 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. He had back-to-back 30-point games. And per Kellen Olson on Twitter, this is Kevin Durant's first 40-point game in a Suns uniform.
Can I do him one better?
Okay.
This is Kevin Durant now officially passes Kareem Abdul-Jabbar into 10th for most 40-point games in NBA history.
Can I give you one more?
Ooh, I love it.
Kevin Durant has scored 40-plus points 4 straight times against the Detroit Pistons.
The longest streak ever against Detroit.
Can I give you one more?
Yes.
Oh.
Kevin Durant is still very fucking good.
Facts.
Here we go.
I love that. Okay, so back to the question, or the statement, more or less. If this keeps up, are we going to be having conversations in the near future, or are people going to be having conversations in the near future about Kevin Durant and MVP?
I don't know. It just depends on their record. I think that's what it's entirely going to be predicated on. If he's averaging 34, 35 a game and they have a winning record, whether Beal or Booker are in there or not, then yes, 1,000,000%, especially if he can help them hold water until those guys are healthy and ready to go. And then they become the best team in basketball after that. Well, he's the one that really, piloted that ship, and you can't ignore that. So I would say yes. But again, just like we said about the losing streak and being 2-4, now 3-4, still 75 games left to go.
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of basketball left. I do think that if he's having that type of year and they're in the top 4, we'll be having that talk. And I think people will revisit the fact that he piloted the ship and held it down when these guys weren't there. So he's got a shot. I didn't see this coming, actually. I didn't see him as the guy that hasn't missed a game.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to come down to, for him and Book, do they play enough games? Because I think both have the firepower to do it, but will they be on the court enough to qualify with these new rules?
That's a good point. See, I didn't think of that either. Like, you know how we talk about how people could steal votes from each other?
Mm-hmm.
Once you're disqualified, there's no
that's
stealing of
true.
votes.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
That is very true. I am just very thankful that we have Kevin Durant on this squad. Like, I know there's been a lot of conversation as of late around him slowing down a beat, if you will, to put it nicely, instead of to go crazy on what we've seen on the internet around Kevin Durant. But I think that we all need to just take a second to remind ourselves that Kevin Durant is a Phoenix Sun, and we haven't gotten to enjoy enough so far because we've been distracted by outside things like the injuries last year, the injuries this year, this, that, and the other. But like, this is a pretty cool thing for us as Suns fans, and a guy who wanted to come here and play. And I think throughout the rest of the season, if you just give it a little bit of time, it'll become like super freaking fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I will say this about KD. KD's not peak KD, and he never will be anymore. Like, he just isn't going to be the same guy he was at in Golden State. You know, he had an excellent start to the year last year, then he got dinged up with the knee. And KD's been a great player, but KD was so good that even if he loses a little bit, he's still better than just about everybody else. And I think that's what we keep overlooking that when we want to try to point to guys that are, and I'll be the first one to admit, like Chris Paul, I kind of fell into that same thing. Now, Chris Paul had games where you literally would be like, bro, what the hell is going on right now? Like, especially last year.
Yeah.
But when he was healthy and it mattered, he did show up for the most part in most games. And Kevin Durant, whether you like him or not, is one of the greatest shooters of all time. And when these other two guys do finally come back, it is going to make it a lot easier for KD to be able to do what he does. And I just feel like at that point, you will see peak Kevin Durant, because he's never had as many open shots as he might at that point.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think a point that I talked about the other day is I don't think you need peak KD all the time. You just need him in spurts.
Yes.
Right? And I think when those two guys come back, he's going to find that lane right in between where he's not showing himself to be 35-year-old KD and he's not 25-year-old KD. He's like right in the middle, and that's where he should live. And if you can find a way to get him to get the amount of minutes and rest that he's going to require to have those peak games, I think that's the recipe for success going forward. Now, I'm a little worried with the minutes he's playing right now, but hopefully that settles down.
Yeah, the third quarter was the closest I think we've seen to peak KD as a Sun. 6 of 8, 17 points, was doing the little things, had that dunk in there as well. But yeah, I don't think we've seen a complete game from KD where you're like, that's that KD, but how can you? You haven't seen anybody around him. He's back to having to carry most of the load. So
he's not slowing down.
No.
I would say he just doesn't make things look as easy as they once did.
Yeah.
That's all. And there's nothing wrong with that. Listen,
he's 35.
Instead of like, if somebody's trying to defend his shot, and before he was up here, maybe now he's a little here, but he still gets the shot off and he still makes it. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to your point, where we've been asking KD to pretty much carry the load for majority of the season, today somebody else showed up big time to help carry that load alongside him. We talked a little bit in the first segment, but I think we should give a little bit more love to our guy, Eric Gordon, because his numbers today were fantastic. He is our PHNX factor.
Doughboy.
Of the night.
You got Mitch Shaw's look up.
I didn't know that was coming.
I didn't expect that at all.
I always look at EG and it reminds me of Boys in the Hood. Like Doughboy.
Okay.
If Ice Cube made it to the NBA, he'd be Eric Gordon. I'm telling you, man. I swear. I look at him. I'm like, man, just take the hair off, man. That's Doughboy from Boys in the Hood. I love it.
Oh my goodness gracious! Listen, I don't know about all that, but Eric Gordon's stats tonight were fantastic. He had 21 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, 8 of 14 from the field, 60% shooting from deep. I like what we saw from EG tonight.
Yeah.
He was very aggressive. And I'm sure Kevin Durant appreciated it a lot as well.
I definitely thought you were going to say bros got to eat too. but substitute bros with another word. So.
Yeah. I like that he did it all in 31 minutes too. Like we talked about, he did a lot of this early in the game, which I think set the tone for them for sure. So yeah, all around great game. After a couple that were not exactly spectacular from Eric Gordon, at least from a shooting percentage standpoint. But this is kind of what you expect. But usually you expect that this will come from the bench, not in a starting role.
Everybody's startled by that little snippet of X.
What?
Like everybody's like, wait, what? They thought like maybe something glitched on the channel or something like that.
No, we could put that much of a song in there, and we did it. So.
Oh my God! I mean, I didn't know it was coming either,
no
so it was a surprise to me too.
EG's important to this team,
Yes.
and we saw it yesterday. Like the difference between yesterday and today is Eric Gordon making shots. And I mean, I hate to be that simple about it, but on nights where EG steps up and can be an actual number 2 to KD, they're going to have a shot to win because you're not going to play the Sixers every night.
Yeah.
You're not going to play the Lakers every night. You're going to play the Pistons. There's going to be some teams that you're significantly better than. And when EG can be the second guy, you shouldn't have much of a problem.
I think that's the brightest spot to me too, looking at this team and where they've been, is Eric Gordon and Grayson Allen slot as your 6th and 7th guy when Booker and Beal come back. So all of a sudden that bench, you go, well, shit, there's some
Not too
scoring
bad.
there. Yeah, that ain't a bad duo to have coming in after you've had Devin Booker and Bradley Beal out there as well. So.
Right.
As a Tucson native, you can never have too many EGs.
Oh boy, good one.
EGs.
If you know, you know. I like the comment that Jeff made in the chat, said, and he got teed up for nothing. I agree, Jeff. I was a little bit annoyed with that whistle that EG got. I mean, I'm sorry. What are we, the NFL? You're not allowed to have a single ounce of emotion anymore? Like, he can be a little frustrated. Unless he said something egregious when he smacked his hands, I call BS on that team.
But that's the thing. We didn't have the front view of what he said. He was looking at the ref and he slammed the court. He could have said something, but I think slamming the court shouldn't be a technical.
Slamming the court should not
No.
be a tech, in my opinion.
Nope.
I think those whistles got a little bit quick there in the fourth quarter, except for when Jordan Goodwin took an elbow to the face. That one seemed a little bit slower.
I think some of those flagrant fouls probably worried him a little bit too. Got to keep this from getting out of hand, so. I mean, the court was going to start a fight with Eric Gordon. I don't know.
I got a conspiracy theory about Monty's tech. He had to get that damn tech.
he went to the ref. He goes, "TV up, please.
TV up on purpose.
Please,
man.
TV up."
Come on, man. I hear all the talk. My man got one in 3.5 minutes, man. I can't get out this game without a
Dear
tech.
sir, may I have a technical?
Yeah, I think he begged for that one.
What?
What was that?
Oh, that was for Nate Dunn.
Oh,
He said EG versus OGs. Saul? I said, put those two together.
Ooh, there you go.
that's where you were going with that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't. What?
I don't know what's happening.
Grinding to a halt. Always fun on the
Sorry,
show.
guys,
Lindsay?
sorry.
Yeah, well, I didn't know what was going on with any of the shenanigans that were happening on this one. We got a couple of super chats we'll read here. Go to Tech Review sent us one, said 0 team fouls in the third quarter. Solid defense.
I give that a 10 out of 10 tech reviews. Thank you.
Yeah,
10
that's,
out
that's
of 10.
fantastic.
Frank sent us one. Espo, I believe this one is for you from Frank.
Oh, I ain't saying that.
Okay, I'll
They're
read
three.
it.
They're 3 and 4. I ain't
I'll
saying
read
that.
it, but we're not going to chant or yell it, okay, Frank? But we appreciate you and your super chat. Frank said the Phoenix Suns are the best team in the NBA. Suck it.
I will. You can tell Jalen Rose to suck it, but I will not be saying the first portion until they're well above 500. Thank you very much.
I mean,
I would actually prefer you not say it until we actually have
maybe
a
just don't
trophy
say it
that
ever.
says it.
I
So
can live with that.
mid-season tournament, you got it, my friend.
There you
In
go.
season, baby.
I'll take it.
Sith Lord sent us one. Thank you for yours. Going back to Kevin Durant conversation, said, I think he only looks 35 because none of his shots are really open looks. Everything has been contested all season.
Yep.
Mhm.
And the fact that he's still able to put up 41 points, 30 points back-to-back nights is pretty impressive, considering that and his age combined together.
Mhm.
And it's just as impressive as our friends over at Empire Today and the flooring that they can put in your home. Absolutely beautiful. With Empire Today, you get shop-at-home convenience, the right products for your needs, quick and professional installation, and a price match guaranteed. And the most impressive part is that you can go to empiretoday.com/PHNX and you can use their floor visualizer to see exactly what the floor is going to look like in your home. So schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use promo code PHNX. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/PHNX for details. Also, today's game, whatever you want to call it, was on Arizona's Family Sports. And Wednesday's game, the next Suns game, will also be on Arizona's Family Sports. If you haven't gotten yourself an antenna yet, you absolutely should. There are many options available at local retailers or online. They've got indoor antennas, outdoor antennas, everything you need. And wherever you live in Arizona, you can visit azfamily.com and click Suns Games for listing information for your area. AZ Family is a great resource to help you find Phoenix Suns games on Arizona's Family Sports. What's up, Vespa? You look like you had something you wanted to say.
Oh, I was just going to say, every time I hear that Empire ad, I can't be the only one that wants to sing the jingle, right?
Sing it.
You can sing it.
Empire Today.
Hey, not too bad.
Don't do
All
a
right.
big day job.
I don't know if the phone number is still the same, so I don't want to sing the phone number part.
That's a good question.
So-
I have no idea. So I know we gave out a couple flowers in the first segment, but I would like to give out a few more to some guys tonight. I don't think we've brought up Josh Okogie just yet. And I know Josh Okogie kind of lost a step there after the first few games of the season. Cough, cough. It was Jacob's fault. He jinxed him. But I feel like Josh Okogie was also really important in that second quarter with Eric Gordon. Obviously, EG led the way, but Josh Okogie was right behind him to pick up some of the slack as well.
You can never doubt his effort. I still don't like the fact that he's not. Listen, I don't honestly. There is such thing as bad offense when you don't take the open shot, even if percentage wise you're not going to make it. He's had multiple opportunities on the perimeter to just catch and shoot, and he's very hesitant right now to do that because he hasn't been knocking down the three, especially not from the corner. So he's been driving, and there's been a couple times where he has gotten out of control or lost the ball or tried to make too much happen at one given time. So I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that change. But on the counterpoint to that is his energy and effort is always A+. And he always gives you multiple opportunities, more possessions, and it pays off. And his effort in that second quarter really, really kind of, it looked like, I was saying I would really value having a 10+ point lead or game for this whole time. His effort was the reason why they were finally able to get above 10 points, kind of maintain that all the way through.
Yeah, and I love his ability to get the rebound. He always has a nose for the boards. He had 7 tonight, and 4 of them offensively. Second chance points are always such a big deal in hoops, and he always seems to be able to do that. Him and Jordan Goodwin are really good on the boards. Goodwin also had 7. They're much more alike than I actually thought until you see them both play out there. Both can struggle offensively, but they are always out there working their ass off on the defensive end and on the boards, especially for two guys that are 6'4". That's pretty impressive.
I think they played great today. I mean, the stats aren't going to show it, but there was just so many times where they got their hands in lanes, tip a ball out to maintain possession, got in there and fought on the glass and helped somebody else get a rebound. So Goodwin and Okogie played terrific, I thought, today. They were like the unsung heroes. And again, it won't show in the box score, but those guys play hard.
I know Goodwin was rough in the first quarter. The first half, turnovers, not really having command of anything, trying to make too much happen all at once. But in that second half, I think that's where you can start to see the maturity of a player like that. I really thought that he settled down. He made way more of an impact defensively. And then he was finally able to get a couple threes to go down, which I know boosted his confidence because he was not, I think he was shooting 23% from three before today. Sometimes you just need a little bit, it's kind of like what Eddie said about KD. KD was struggling too. He had missed like 7 straight shots. Finally, he got one to go down at the mid-range, and then it just kind of took off from there. That's the same thing with some of these young guys, and Josh Okogie is not an exception either. Sometimes they just need to see one go down to feel good about themselves, and it really translates everywhere else in their game.
Right.
And I also think with Jordan Goodwin as well, like I know we've talked about this plenty of times, but just another reminder, like we're asking him to do a lot more than what he's going to be doing in a normal situation. So because we're asking him to do that much, we have to give him some time to find comfortability within that as well. And I think he's starting to find it a little bit.
It's all a process.
Yeah.
It is.
Tonight he hit those 2 big threes that Saul's talking about.
Mhm.
The thing that jumped out at me was the score of the game when he shot those threes. These guys are more comfortable when they have leeway.
Mhm.
When it's a tight game, you're going to see Josh Okogie pass that up. Because it's a closer game, you're going to see Jordan Goodwin maybe not feel so confident in taking that shot. And that's the learning process. Right now, they had a little bit of lead, so they felt more comfortable. They let it ride.
Well, I would probably disagree with you on the first Goodwin 3 because the Pistons were making a run. I think they
That was in
got
the
it down
third
at
I
the
think it was
quarter,
like 5 or 7-0 run right there.
Yeah.
And KD or somebody had passed the ball out to Goodwin, and we were like, "Oh shit, is this the shot we want?" And he was able to knock that down. And it seemed like at that point everything just kind of calmed down.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
then everybody started playing better, and it was cool. So
I agree.
but I do agree for the most part. Like, I mean, that's what makes superstars. When it gets tight, when it gets clutch, like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Like, you gotta. Sometimes it's hard to tell yourself a good shot in the first quarter is not the same thing in the fourth quarter.
Right.
I mean, I think players tell themselves that, but
Yeah.
sometimes, listen, if you're wide open, you're wide open, and you got to put that on the coach to have you in there in those key moments. If you're not ready to be able to perform, you shouldn't be in there in the fourth quarter if you can't perform.
Facts.
You're in there for a reason. Shoot the ball. That's what I want to say to Yuta. It's like, man, shit. If Yuta passed up an open shot and I was the coach, I'd be like, guess you don't want to play, huh? We're giving you open shots. Shoot the fucking ball.
Did you
I think
see?
it's a great point. 20 minutes, 4 shots.
Yeah, see, that's
You
not
got to
it.
shoot the ball.
Did y'all see that viral video that came out of Brown, Sacramento's coach, Mike Brown?
Going crazy.
Going crazy at
Monk.
Malik Monk?
Yeah.
Exactly, to your point. Like, when the guy's open, you got to shoot the damn ball if you're in the fourth quarter, man. You in the game for a reason. So
I think
agree.
sometimes players confuse if I make it, it's a good shot versus is it a good shot? No, through the context of basketball, if things happen and you are put in a position to be wide open, like, you got to shoot the ball.
shoot
You're a
it.
basketball player. You got to shoot the ball. Now, you don't want Dennis Rodman chucking up threes. We
Dennis-
get that.
Or Yusuf Nurkic.
Yeah, or Yusuf. But for the most
Last
part,
one today, he did.
he what?
There was one
passed
today
one
where
up,
he was
yes.
like, just kidding. I'm gonna pass the ball.
Well, I know I was fighting for my life on this bet, and when he pulled up from 3, I knew he was missing that. I was like, "We good, baby, we good."
I've never cheered so hard for Yusuf Nurkic to shoot a 3.
All right, 2 more super chats real quick. Thunderstand, thank you for yours. Said, I'm hoping our bench is going to be relieved when they're going up against second units. Our bench almost had 40 points tonight. Good stuff from our third string.
Yeah.
It's going to look a lot different. It definitely will look a lot different when we have our big 3 all back and everyone in their correct roles. Jacob also sent us one and said, EG or GA off bench to run offense right now? ? Would you move Eric Gordon or Grayson Allen to coming off the bench in the absence of
No.
Bradley Beal and Booker? Or would you keep it as is?
Keep
I
it
think
as
it's
is.
tough. But if Jordan Goodwin had shown that he could actually distribute, and wasn't having those issues, maybe you consider it, but you can't. You give KD as much help offensively as you can in that starting unit. And Eric Gordon has shown the ability to pass it, so is Grayson. I don't think you can do it.
And y'all got to stop with the Saban Lee stuff.
Oh, yes,
Like,
please,
no,
man.
I've never seen a player that loves his shot more than Saban Lee does. Saban Lee is shooting it. Saban Lee's the one coming down with it. Saban Lee's the one dribbling it. Saban Lee's the one running this shit.
Is this just Corona hate?
Listen, Saban is a fantastic person, okay?
He
And
is.
I'm rooting for Saban. I do
Yes.
think, though, Saul, you are absolutely correct. He is a shoot first point guard, and I don't think that is what we need currently.
I swear.
I think we stick with what we got for right now. Maybe Saban can get a little bit more reps in practice and things like that, and at some point in time, but not right now.
All I hear in my head is the dad off of Hoop Dreams. Let it rain.
Let
Wanna
it
see it
rain.
rain? Let it rain.
I'm rooting for Saban always. I'm also rooting for him to pass the damn ball
Yes.
every now and then.
Yes.
That'd be my loudest ovation.
All right, guys, let's look at our bets that we made from pregame. We did have some winners tonight. Surprise, surprise. It wasn't me. and it wasn't Saul. It's two of you, Flex and Espo.
I won in the first 8 seconds.
Look at you guys
You
go.
did.
I won in the first 8 seconds. I had the first bucket under 17.5 seconds. It was scored in 8. So I won 32 and some change tonight. So I'll take it.
And Flex, you just took the money.
Man, I
line.
just took the money line. I told y'all. I just want a dub. I mean, I don't care if I won 60 cents.
That's
I mean,
smart.
It is
because
about what you want.
Look at what we got on the leaderboard right now. You just added a little
there we
bit more money to your
go.
pocket.
Yeah, everything counts, especially when Big
So-
Saul's down 70.
Bless
hear-
Saul's heart.
You hear those footsteps in the far distance?
No,
That's
Espo,
me.
we don't
No,
need them.
no.
It's a very far distance.
That's not the far distance. That's like the beyond the realm.
So Saul
Says the
is
guy at negative 70.
Oh, yeah, because I know
minus
myself.
70. Espo's minus 2750.
Oh,
I have a
Liz,
big
how'd
fat
you get down
goal.
to 0?
oh.
Because I won my first bet, the very first game of the season.
Who's
And
coming
then
to
I've lost
join?
every bet since then.
Oh,
Flex, though, he's at a plus 47.45. So
Oh my God, this is
I
depressing.
need to
as
win
hell.
on Wednesday.
Co-
I really need
between
to
us
win.
four, we have a combined minus
we got no
minus
dough, bro.
90
Yeah, we
minus
broke.
$90.50 combined.
Oh,
or 5
man.
cents, I should say.
Oh, jeez. Ooh, it's brutal, you guys.
I
but
can't
here's
wait to
the
see
deal.
Lindsay's turn orange next week.
It's not going to turn orange next week.
Wednesday.
Don't worry. We're going to get a W.
I feel like we need to play the disclaimer every time we show that graphic.
If you guys want to get in on the action, listen, you don't have to make the bets that we choose. You might be better at this than we are. But right now with BetMGM, you're going to win either way because if you sign up for BetMGM using that bonus code PHNX and you place your first BetMGM sportsbook wager through the BetMGM Sportsbook app of at least $10, you will receive $200 instantly in additional winnings, regardless of your wager's outcome. So that's where the win-win comes in. You can check out the show notes for full details, and now you can listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Nevada, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., New York, or Ontario.
Screw you, Ontario.
Blessings. Also, if you love coupon codes and you love getting a discount on things, OGs, finally, they've got us hooked up with one, you guys. This is legit. Who doesn't? Especially with the holidays,
That's
you're
such an
always
old lady
looking for
thing
it.
to say.
I mean, our demographic is 18 to 34-year-old young males.
No, it's
For the most part, that's our
not.
dominant demographic. I can guarantee you all but 0 of them have cut a coupon ever in their life.
Hey, Sonny,
said
do you
coupon
like cutting
codes.
coupons?
I didn't ask you to cut it out of anything. It's a
Can't you
code.
get the Sunday paper?
Click
They
that
got no
coupon.
chance coupon
You know
in
what?
there.
Fine. You don't deserve it. None of you get it anymore.
Oh, man.
I
No
don't
more-
think that's
no
your
more for you.
choice.
I believe it's required to share.
Fine. Our friends over at OGs gave you guys a coupon, even though you don't deserve it. They're just so nice that they'll give it to you anyway, regardless of how good or bad you've been this year. Just go to zenleafdispensaries.com, find your closest location, order your favorite OGs gummy for pickup, enter discount code PHNX at checkout. This deal is exclusive for our PHNX listeners, regardless if you're good or bad. And a reminder, it's only available online and for pickup orders as well. The discount code again, PHNX. It's active until November 30th, and it's 25% off, you guys.
If Lindsay had some OGs, she would have thought this whole thing was funny.
Well, maybe I need to use my own little coupon
There you
code
go.
or something like that.
Just
I
cut
don't
it
know.
out.
I don't know. All right, guys, a few more super chats here. Andrew sent us one and said, I want to congratulate Phoenix Rising Soccer Club making it to the finals last Saturday night. It was a crazy game after D-backs did. Katie carrying us again.
Yes.
Yeah,
Phoenix
go
Rising in
Let's
the,
go.
in the championship game. Let's go.
We want the cup.
Yes,
go.
exciting times. Andrew also sent us a one and said, think my super chat is missed, but here's another one. I'm sorry, Andrew. I promise I was going to get
Lindsay
to it.
likes to wait all the way to the end.
I just space them out a little bit. That's all. you
Lindsay
know.
likes that double money. Just
Yeah.
get people. No, you see it? No? All right, how about now?
Yeah. And then Adrian sent us one as well. Thank you, Adrian. Said, bruh, counting down the days until we get the big three together. What a win.
Big win.
So
Yep.
I think we should maybe recap that a little bit. We did talk a lot about it in the pregame show, but I have had a few people in the chat ask kind of if there's any updates or any timelines. So from Devin's side of things, I don't think we have a timeline just yet. But basically, it went from the toe to the ankle on the left leg, and now it's a right calf sprain. Strain that he was dealing with. And what had happened was yesterday before the game, he had full intentions of playing today, but then they decided to get an MRI done, and that MRI showed that he was dealing with that. So that's why he did not play in today's game. But we'll keep you posted on what we hear. We do have 2 days off until the next game, so that's good to give both him and Bradley Beal a few extra days of rest. As far as Bradley Beal goes, Flex, you've been telling us potentially Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then Frank Vogel also said that today as well in his pregame presser that they're aiming for Wednesday. Just kind of one of those things. He had a really heavy workout, I think, before Saturday's game to test out his body, and he responded pretty well to it so far.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed his body continues to respond well, and we get to see him on Wednesday.
Yeah, I think it helps too. They have a couple days there in Chicago, and so not a plane flight right into a game.
Yeah.
So hopefully that'll help too.
Yeah, they can just go dip Booker into Lake Michigan, and hopefully that'll cool off whatever ails his calf. Because honestly, like I'm a little hot about this whole situation. We talked about this in the pregame, but Devin Booker's got to be better. He's got to be better overall about taking care of his body. To come back against a useless San Antonio Spurs game in game number 5 of the season was kind of outrageous. And the whole goal of this is to get to the end. It's not to get vengeance on a team that barely beat you the night before. Like, it doesn't make any sense. He's got to be more responsible. And honestly, the Suns at this point, I would be shocked if they don't use this and the hamstring injury from Christmas last year.
Groin.
Groin. Sorry. Yeah, groin against him last year. Kind of against Devin Booker from this point forward and say, listen, man, we've given you the opportunity to fight, to be in these games. And then every single time it happens, it gets worse right after. We got to stop doing that. There's a reason why there's a ramp-up period. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to your organization to be able to be healthy and play at a high level. And if you can do that for one game and then you're gone for the next couple weeks, that's irrelevant to us. You got to be here for the long haul. Devin Booker's got to be better. And hopefully this is the last time we have to deal with this when he comes back.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, no. Listen, I can't disagree with you, man. I mean, it's one of those things where he wanted to play Thursday. The ankle's okay, but, he was slightly overcompensating. And now we got a little bit of a strain on the calf. I do want to warn people, we don't have a timeline, and we don't know what this looks like. In the next couple of days, we'll know more. These strains can come and go. I've seen people come back from strains in 3 days. So we don't know what it is yet. Let's just pump our brakes a little bit, and let's see what happens in the next 48 hours. And then we'll give you all what we get. On Tuesday, we should have a good update.
Yes, and we all collectively, and I'm lumping all of you in this because you don't have an option. I'm deciding for us. We're all collectively agreeing right now that no matter what we hear from a Devin injury update standpoint, that we're just going to chill for however long he needs. So we're not adding to the stress of him being like, I want to get back. I want to get back. I want to get back. We should all just tweet it. Take your time, Devin. Devin, it's all good. Take your time.
March
Take your
sounds
time,
good.
Book. We'll see you when we see you. We know you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
We're all agreeing to that, okay?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Deal.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Okay. We've gotten quite a few comments from Tommy in the chat. Tommy is unsure about the lack of point guards on this Suns squad. I know we've discussed this quite a few times, but are you guys feeling any type of way still about that, or are you okay?
Not yet.
I have zero concerns about it.
I can't until we see these guys. I'm confident with what Book can do at the point guard position. I'm confident in Brad's ability to do it too, and I'm confident in what we could see from KD and the guys. So no, I'm not worried. Not yet. It's too early. Talk to me in game 30, and I'll be able to answer that.
I'm not worried, but I would like them to still cut down on the turnovers. Another 18 today. They're averaging 17 and a half going into yesterday's game. Only had 10 there, but I'd like to see that cut down. But overall, no. Devin Booker in the 2 games he has played proved that he can run that offense. We saw it at the end of the game that he can run that. He can calm things down. I don't have an issue with it once they're healthy, but I do want to see those turnovers cut down before he's back.
Yeah, and then a couple more things from the chat. Nate said, "Keep that Achilles healthy, please," with a prayer emoji. Jacob said, "Katie better talk to Booker about coming back early from a calf injury, just saying." And these are all things that Saul, you brought up in the pregame show as well. Like, it's not worth it to rush back from something that could potentially lead to something even worse. Like, at this point in time, it's just one of those things where you just got to do what you got to do. You got to put your head down, let your body heal. Triple B said, "Just goes to show you that he wants to play as bad as Suns fans want him to play." And that is absolutely true. But right now, he needs to be saved from himself.
You make a great point. Saul made a great point. Even you mentioned it earlier. Cavs ain't nothing to mess with, right? You take your time. We need to have the same type of feelings with Brad Beal. Like, backs ain't nothing to mess with neither.
This is true.
And so the same way we're going to give Book that time to rest and get right on his calf, have the same courtesy for Brad Beal. If he's not back Wednesday, don't trip. Neither one of these injuries are something to mess with. They're both mild right now, and we should be okay, but we don't want it to become an avalanche.
Yes, that's the plan. All right, guys, any final thoughts before we say goodbye?
Just a reminder, special episode tomorrow at 3 p.m. with a very special guest from our past. So Saul and I will be here at 3 p.m. for you tomorrow.
Don't miss out on that.
Also, obviously in the pregame we talked about this, but it's very important that you guys come to this takeover because it's awesome and it's going to be a fun time in a week and a half.
10 days.
Yeah
10 days.
Exactly 10 days. We are going to be having our first official takeover of the 2023-24 NBA season.
It's the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah.
So come watch Ant because he's been balling his ass off.
Man.
So that should be a fun game. Hopefully we'll have Beal, maybe even Beal and Book back. So it should be awesome. We have a great time at the Desmond, which is only one block from the arena. So we eat, we drink, we bullshit, we have a great time. Then we walk down and we go sit in a lower level seat to watch our favorite team.
It's going to be fantastic.
Also, I'm going to put this out there too, because last year we did hear this quite a few times. There were people who would come solo. They were like, I was a little bit unsure. Yeah. It's kind of it's a tough thing to put yourself out there to come to an event solo. But I will tell you this, our group of diehards, the people who we know who have already bought the season pass for all of our takeovers, absolutely phenomenal people. They will literally bring you in to the circle like that because you're already a part of the circle. So if you're feeling any type of way about that, don't. It's going to be a blast. Come hang out with us. We're all going to be there as well. So go to PHNX.com to get your ticket today.
And also, we're friendly.
You're never alone.
We're always there.
Just kidding.
Yeah, just stay away from Lindsay.
Saul and I will talk to you. That's fine.
Yeah, we love.
We haven't seen how Flex acts at one of these yet, but we'll
Flex
find out.
Flex is pretty friendly.
I'm the most friend. I hug everybody.
Come on. Let me tell you a story about Flex, okay? So we're doing poker with Eddie Johnson's charity thing, right? And Flex loses, and I'm at a table, and I think there's 6 tables left, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking Flex is going to leave. But Flex meets somebody, and they start talking, and I'm still playing. And then we're down to 5 tables, down to 4, down to 3. Then we get down to the final 2. Flex is still talking to this person for an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, just because he was like, I'm gonna wait for my guy to finish.
Yeah.
That's the type of person this dude is. Yeah. He could talk to anybody forever, and then he makes these great relationships and has friends for life off of just moments. It's just the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen. So you won't be disappointed when you meet this man.
He told me he only waited for the White Castle burgers. He said,
no, that was fun.
I mean, they were pretty electric.
No free ads. Sorry. I should have done that.
It'll be a blast. All right, guys. As Espo mentioned, 3 p.m. tomorrow, special episode. And then Tuesday, 3 p.m. as well. So plan to come hang out with us for those 2 shows before we have another game on Wednesday.
Hello.
What?
He said Lindsay will spray you with water like a person with a cat.
I mean, I might.
Pretty accurate.
But it'll be fun. I'll have a good time. You should have a good time. It'll be great. It'll be good.
I can't wait.
Nate.
Dunn.
It's true. I met Flex once, and now he's my kid's godfather.
Loki, that wouldn't shock me at all.
No,
He really wouldn't.
It really wouldn't.
If I had a kid and I was like, Flex, my kid doesn't have a godfather, will you do it? He'd be like, yeah, sure, why
Of
not? What do you want me to
course.
do?
Flex
He
a lot of
really
kids.
would.
Flex a lot of kids, of course.
Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and get out of here.
You
Don't
definitely
forget
are
to
my alter
follow
ego.
the show on Twitter at PHNX_Suns. You can follow me at Lindsay Smith AZ. You can follow Saul at Saul_Bookman. You can follow Flex at Flex from Jersey. And of course, you can follow Espo at Espo. Espo, take us home.
Jalen Rose, I'm sorry you're unemployed, but you still can suck it.
Oh
Ahoy,
my
hoy.
goodness.
We all silly like the mayor.